All right, fam. Here we go. Part 3 of episode 1. This is going to wrap up episode 1, which I'm excited. So today we're just going to get into some stories. We're going to watch a couple of people just share their experience being introduced to Christian hip hop. All right. So the first question we wanted to ask folks was just how were they introduced?
I was introduced to CHH probably back when I was a teenager, newly came to Christ.
I used to listen to all types of different music before I got saved.
I didn't know about Christian hip hop. I didn't even know it was like different genres of hip hop or music. I was raised just on like one particular group of rap, which is called ghetto rap.
But once I got saved, I wanted to listen to music similar to what I listened to before. And so I found out they had something called Christian hip hop.
It was a while ago. It was one of our youth leaders named Judy Delphin.
I didn't know about Christian rap until like I came into foster care and met Mr. Chris Miller G, who's behind the camera right now.
So it came from, I was on MySpace, and there was different people that did Christian rap. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, let me find out who to listen to.
And she introduced us to Cross Movement. Cross Movement, that was a group, man. They were doing their thing. There was no real Christian hip hop back in when I was a kid. We had T-Bone and I think Gospel Gangsters. That was it. But then Cross Movement, she introduced the Cross Movement, really liked it, and then The Truth came on and been listening ever since.
My brother-in-law had some records from this group called Cross Movement. There was an artist named Ambassador, and I really liked his flow. And from there, that's kind of how it started.
So I just looked up different artists, like Cross Movement, the 116 Click, Lecrae, Trip Lee, and I love listening to their music.
He took us, I think we was in the car on a ride. He was like, what music y'all listen to? And we put on our song. I don't remember what song it was, but I definitely know it has some bad words, like 100% know it has some bad words in there. Then he was like, we should listen to something. And I'm pretty sure the first Christian rapper was either him or Alex Jean. One of those two, I can't remember, but I know it was one of those two.
So I was introduced to CHH through Brotherhood of Discipleship. There was a few guys who were a bit older than me at the time when I was in high school who, when I first gave my life to Christ, they allowed me to kind of walk with him. And then from that, they were heavily involved in the CHH scene. I remember we went to our first Unashamed tour with Lecrae, Tadashi, Trip, the whole gang. And that was my first time seeing that me giving my life to the Lord doesn't mean that I have to lose something that I really love, but he can redeem a genre too.
So believe it or not, one of the ways that Jesus brought me to himself was through Christian hip hop. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I know how impactful Christian hip hop has been in my life. I was already into music, making music. Believe it or not, my dad, he was actually a very skilled reggaeton rapper. Not famous, never really got out there, but we would hear him a lot, especially at the crib. And so there was always inspirations of music in my family. He would make music. I would produce with my dad, do all different types of stuff. Back when FL Studio was actually Fruity Loop. God would also use that very thing that I was passionate about. I came to know who Jesus was. So with that being said, how were you introduced to Christian hip hop? I distinctly remember when I went over to it was a cousin or a friend of a family member from my mom's side. I was in middle school. I think it was in 8th grade. And I distinctly remember him showing me some music, and it had no cussing in it. Like, it was clean. And I remember thinking to myself, this is the trashiest music I've ever heard. Only because it did not cuss. That was my mindset at the time. Because I didn't hear any cussing or it wasn't a rapper that I knew, man, it was garbage. I think the only clean song that I actually was vibing to at that time was How to Love by Lil Wayne. And at the time, I still to this day, I don't exactly know who it was, but I have a good feeling that it was actually Lecrae. Don't know what song or what project, definitely some of his earlier stuff, but didn't come across my mind. Didn't know who the artist was, didn't know what song, that's it. Well, then, lo and behold, man, a couple years later, in my junior year, when God was doing the work in my heart, pursuing me, started attending a youth group because a classmate invited me. Shout out to Abishai. We would freestyle, we would rap, talk about some different things, chop it up with them, let them know what artists I was into at the moment. Shout out to him he would introduce me to Lecrae and Trip Lee, like officially this time. And now I know what I was getting into. Man, the two tracks that I would listen to was "Don't Waste Your Life" by Lecrae on his Rebel album, and Tripley's "I'm Not a Robot." One of the things I realized, man, God was doing a thing in my heart to appreciate not just Christian hip hop, but to know who He is and that He has something better for me. There's something more in this life than what I was used to listening to and what I was used to. And it was in a youth group. Going consistently to the after school program called Kicks, it was people that looked like me. They were young. We're talking about high schoolers, middle schoolers. They come from the streets like I do. You know, you had girls there that were attractive as well. And all the energy, we were like literally getting lit for Jesus. It was different. And I never seen anything like it. And I was like, people have fun and they sing worship songs. They sing about God. Like it was totally new for me. I was like, what is this? But it was cool because in that moment, in that season, there started a hunger started happening to know who God is and what He has for me. And so, man, eventually, when I gave my life to Christ, everything changed. Like literally, the next night, just changed. And so once I realized, man, that God was real, that Jesus Christ, that He died for me and gave His life up for my sins, man, I repented of my sins that night, gave my life to Christ on my knees in my bedroom. And man, I haven't been the same since. And that also includes the music that I listen to. I've not only gained an appreciation for the music that I was listening to then, but even now in the music that I make myself. Here for the rest of the folks.
Ooh, favorite artist right now. Ooh, that's good. Gotta go with my boy Tory Deshaun. Definitely one of my favorite right now. KB is an all-time GOAT for me. I'm sorry, author Kevin Burgess. And I will say that some more of the gang from Indie Tribe with No Big Deal, John Keith. I love their creativity, love their lyricism. And then I'll probably go Jackie Hill Perry is probably on the list for me. You see how I didn't want to name a specific because I didn't want them to come after me, so I named a series of them. Yeah. Those are my favorite right now.
Well, let's start with Lecrae. I'm really liking Better Sober right now, featuring Madison Ryan Ward. I like that one a lot. Caleb Gordon, he has a song called Joy in the Morning. I like that song. It's a good listen, especially at the start of my day. And yeah, that's all I can think of right now, but I have selections across different artists that I like. No favorites.
Right now, I would say probably Lil Baby. Oh, you mean Christian hip? That was genius. And I was able to meet him. K. John Boone.
Currently, my favorite artist, Christian hip hop artist, is Andy Mineo. I'll even say my favorite artist is Andy Mineo. Right now, I really like this dude named Miles Minnick. I believe he's from the West Coast. I think he's really nice. So Miles Minnick, if you haven't heard him. There's another guy that used to do Christian hip hop. I think he still does, but he's rapping. His name is Hop. He's another one. You might not know him, but that dude is fire.
You know, honestly, I don't know, man. I have to really think about that because I listen to a lot of Lecrae's albums. Man, it's been. I honestly don't know what my favorite album is. I honestly don't know, man. I can't even think of a favorite album.
Favorite Christian hip hop album right now? I don't have a favorite album. I have favorite selections from different artists.
Favorite album? Ooh, this is really good. There's so many. I remember when We Live as Kings came out. It was Swoop, Kristan Gray, and a few. I think Dre Murray was on that. Alex Faith. Dang, favorite album. I would say KB got to join. I think it's either Today We Rebel, Tomorrow We Live.
So yeah, it was Don't Waste Your Life by Lecrae and I'm Not a Robot by Tripley. And then it just expanded. I got put on to rehab the overdose. I started going back to the older stuff, like after the music stops. The G's music, come on. Riding with my top down, listening to that G's music. A few of the real talk stuff. So I got put on to that after. Shout out to my brother Jules. He would put me on to new Christian hip hop. He was usually the one playing the tracks at the after school program at Kicks. He should have just been a DJ. Seeing them rap it and have fun. Having that community that connected with the same music that I was now introduced to, Oh man, that helped tremendously. The culture was shaped there for me within Christian hip hop. But then I remember the first project we was excited for because he was excited for it. Kind of, just gassing it up. But I see why. Was church clothes. And boy, church clothes changed it up for me. I remember going to that Piff, going through, and I was already used to that Piff. That's where we we got put on with some of the Young Jeezy mixtapes, the Lil Wayne, the Dedication series, some of the Wiz Khalifa stuff, OJ and Orange Shoes, all the Gucci Man stuff. I was already used to that. When I saw church clothes on that Piff and how Christian hip hop was infiltrating something that I was used to and what I knew, man, that was a game changer for me. I then realized, like, oh, Christian hip hop not only belongs here in a sense, like it's just as good as any of this other music. When I realized, like, oh snap, like it is real. Actually, not only is it real, shoot, it's probably better than a lot of stuff that's out there. And I think it got certified. It went platinum on that Piff. Like how many downloads? That Piff used to have this thing where if it was downloaded a lot, you would see like if it was gold, platinum, diamond. And man, it hit one of those. It was up there. And I was like, oh snap. And it was on the cover of that Piff. It was crazy. So man, that was a game changer. Not only to realize that Christian hip hop belonged in the space because it's just as good, but it's different. Like we don't have to glorify killing, drugs, smashing women, doing all this, objectifying women. We don't have to glorify the street life that actually harms a lot of us, repeating the same cycle that we see in these streets. We could talk about it, especially if we come from it, but we don't have to glorify it. Shout out to D1 for the work that he's doing. To this day, when you listen to Church Clothes, oh man, that was peak for me. To this day, it's still peak in some ways where Church Clothes, some of the conversations and things that Lecrae was willing to talk about and be bold about, that was a game changer. I remember the impact that had on me, my brothers at Kicks, Jules, man, the way we would pose, with the church clothes, do that little pose, you feel me? That was a game changer indeed. Man, then after that, I myself would look out for the next thing. And then I remember when Anomaly came out. Woo. So, man, if I had to choose one of my favorite albums, it would actually, as far as replay and going back to it, it has to be between Anomaly and Church Clothes. That does it for me. Those are my all-time favorite albums. Be a tie between Anomaly, but Church Clothes, I think, man. And Mineo, Uncomfortable is up there too. One of the goated albums. Ooh. Triple E's Rise, not that thing was fire. Triple E's Rise, that thing was fire. Man, shout out recently though, one of the albums that I would consider up there that's goated is Tory Deshawn's Come and See. Tory, man, you boy doing your thing, boy. Hey, goated. Man, that's how I was introduced to Christian hip hop. Those were some of my favorite albums. And man, just grateful for what God is doing inside of space. And just an encouragement to any artists out there. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be famous to make a big impact. And you don't know who you're going to put your listeners on to then connect them to the rest of the space. Man, God is moving. Continue to let him use you. Get better at the craft. Keep doing your thing. Here in CHH, we keep it real. We keep explaining, keep appreciating, and keep leading. We out.